For today's beef dish for lunch, I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing kebabs using very simple ingredients that you have in your house. It's perfect for a summer day like today. One of the most important things when you're making a kebab is you want to make sure that your cut on all of your meat is uniform so that it all cooks to the same internal temperature. It's very important. Another thing that's very important for kebabs particularly, you want to make sure that you marinate that meat so that it's really getting that flavor, especially when you're putting it on the grill. So marinate for at least 30 minutes. The same thickness and the same width, so important. What I love about using ribeyes for kebabs though is that because it has so much of that amazing fat, it's a more fatty piece of meat, it really provides so much flavor to the vegetables. I especially like it personally with mushrooms because they just provide some really nice earthiness. You can even get fancy if you want to and wrap the mushrooms in bacon, which is always amazing. You can have jalapenos. Today I'm going to be doing red pepper, bell peppers, and mushrooms. Then we're going to finish it with a very nice, spicy chili dipping sauce. It's amazing to sit outside on a day like this and just be in front of the grill, getting back to nature, maybe having a little bit of a beer, relaxing. I love to take the bone in a ribeye, and while I'm actually grilling, I'll throw it on the grill as well. It's a great treat for your dogs. Your furry friends will definitely thank you for it. All right, now that we have our meat perfectly cut into uniform portions, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a simple marinade on this because the chili sauce is so nice. It's just soy sauce and garlic, and that's it. We're going to put our beef into the marinade. Make sure that all of it's covered. I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. All right, so now we have the beef marinating in the fridge and we're just going to cut up our vegetables. Same thing with this. You want to make sure that they're all uniform so that everything cooks through nicely. I really love bell peppers on the grill. There's just something so fresh about them and the beautiful colors. Now, especially because we're making kebabs, we're going to want to make sure that our cuts are a little bit heartier on these as well. Make sure that they can hold up in terms of being put next to a mushroom. My husband and I actually, because he's a sommelier and he does a lot of blind tasting, sometimes I will blind taste him, so have him not look at the actual bell pepper and then taste it to see if he can tell the difference in it. And you would actually be surprised. There are some interesting subtleties in the difference that the bell peppers taste. For example, green bell peppers tend to be a little bit more kind of earthy as opposed to the red bell peppers that are a little bit more on the kind of, it's almost savory sort of. They're almost juicy. It's kind of hard to explain. Or even the yellow bell peppers are a little bit lighter. So that's a fun experiment that if you are trying to make these kebabs and you choose to use bell peppers, it's a fun experiment and I'd definitely like to get your feedback on it. And then we're gonna put some red onion with our kebabs. So the beef has been marinating for almost 30 minutes, but before we go and get that and assemble our kebabs, we're gonna go ahead and make the chili sauce for it so that the flavors can kind of infuse and be amazing by the time we're ready to eat it. Just get an empty bowl. I'm using olive oil, about a half a cup. I'm using 3 tablespoons of sherry vinegar. I'm adding mustard to it, about a tablespoon and a half. I'm going to do just a touch of sesame oil just to add a little bit of slight sort of Asian flair to it. And then I'm adding red chili pepper flakes. Now, depending on how spicy you like this, you can just add a teaspoon if you just want a little bit, or if you're like me, add a lot more than that. We'll add some salt and pepper to this after it's been sitting for a little while. And that'll be good to go. So we'll set this off to the side. We'll go get the meat and start assembling the kebabs. Our grill has been heating up, so it's nice and hot, and we'll start assembling these kebabs. What I like to do when I'm making kebabs is I like to alternate the different ingredients just to make sure we're getting a nice variety and really enjoying all of the goodness that we put on there. Mushrooms are so good. So yeah, I usually will do meat and then a vegetable and then meat again. Skewers like this are amazing because you'll see when we're done, you can just easily slide them right off and it makes it so nice and so convenient. I'm making sure that I'm getting as close to the middle as possible where I'm putting that meat so everything is perfectly even. That one is good to go. We'll go ahead and assemble a second one. I remember being really little growing up in Texas, and I learned how to grill before I actually learned how to cook. And this was always something that was so simple that we would make, but I always looked forward to it so much. When my husband and I found out that we were having twin boys, he wanted to go and get a new grill because he thought it was really manly, but it's funny because he doesn't touch the grill at our house. It's my grill. All right, beautiful. Those look amazing. So I'm actually gonna brush these with a little bit of a mixture of olive oil and sesame oil. Since we use that in the dipping sauce, it'll really tie everything back together. It's about 4 parts olive oil to 1 part sesame oil. Get a nice coating on there. You don't need to get it too much because that ribeye is a fattier piece of meat, but just a little bit to add some flavor. We'll salt it. We're gonna salt it again when it's done because some of this salt is gonna fall off from the grill, so don't be worried about overly salting right now. We're gonna salt it again. All right, let's take our kebabs to the grill. And the final touch, I finish it with some Maldon salt after it's had a chance to rest. It's perfect for an appetizer, it's perfect for an entree, great for entertaining, and great for the summertime. So, cheers.